And we are live. Welcome, mystery and thriller fans. I'm your on-air host and author, Sara DiVello, and I am so excited to welcome back tonight New York Times best-selling author Tess Gerritsen, here to give us the inside scoop about her brand new book, The Summer Guest, the hotly anticipated second book in the series. And Tess, welcome. Tell us all about this book.
Oh, it is the sequel, as you mentioned. And for those who don't even know who the Martini Club is, I should back up a little bit and tell you how the very first book started. It happened because I live in this little town in Maine, a very charming place of 5,000 people. And we moved here 35 years ago. My husband and I discovered we were surrounded by spies, retired CIA to be specific. And I just wondered, why were they there? What does a retired spy do? Do they get together for cocktail parties? I mean, I had a retiree from the OSS on my right side and a CIA on the other side. And my son's good friend, his parents were both retired spies, married spies. So I would look at my neighbors differently. You know, you see a gray-haired person and you don't, yeah, okay, he's a retiree, he's granny, he's grandpa. But then I would look at them at the post office and the grocery store, and I began to think, what kind of a life did you have? Were you dangerous? Did you do something that you might be ashamed of? So I really began to think about the lives of people who we discount, become invisible because of their gray hair. Well, 35 years later, I feel like I'm older and I can feel that invisibility, and I understand that you can have had the most dangerous, interesting life, but once you get older, nobody really knows about it. Nobody even cares what you did. So here I created these 5 retired spies in a little town of Purity. They 4 of them had very interesting lives. One of them was an analyst, and they still have their wits about them. They're in their 60s and 70s, and they still they still can carry a gun. They still know how to evade followers. So in The Spy Coast, I introduce you to Maggie Bird. She is in her 60s. She's now a chicken farmer. She left the CIA because of something tragic that happened, and she wants to forget it. But then a dead body shows up on her driveway, and she realizes it's her past coming back to her. She asks her friends to help, and so the 5 members of the Martini Club all spring into action. On the other side, though, is a 35-year-old local police chief who has to investigate this dead body. She encounters these 5 old people and doesn't realize who they are, thinks they're just, oh, sweet little grannies, right? Grandma, grandpa. And finds out that they are a step ahead of her every step of the investigation. So it's the beginning of a friendship, a beautiful friendship between a young cop and these 5 old people, but they're still not quite in sync. So now I've written the second book in the series. And once again, we see our 5 members of the Martini Club. We see my police chief, Jo Thibodeau, having an uneasy alliance. And The Summer Guest opens up with the disappearance of a 14-year-old girl. She's a daughter of a family that's we call them summer people in Maine. They come, then they just, they're rich people. They have their homes that they only stay there in the summer, and then they go back to the city. Well, this 14-year-old girl has vanished. They think she's drowned, so they go, dragging the local pond. And instead of finding the dead girl, they find a long dead woman, the bones of a long dead woman who has been murdered. Now we have 2 mysteries: a missing girl and a dead woman, and the Martini Club springs into action because the prime suspect in the girl's disappearance is Maggie's next door neighbor, and she is determined to prove he's innocent. So it's a murder mystery. It's very much set in Maine as opposed to the international setting that I had in The Spy Coast. So and I bring in some CIA history. The CIA had a bit of an operation going on in Maine, and that comes into the story as well.
I did not know that until I read The Summer Guest, and I was fascinated by this. And I have so many questions, Tess, and I see questions are piling up for you. So let's just dive right in. So for everyone, we are broadcasting live to 8 different destinations across Facebook and YouTube. So friends, no matter where you are, you're in the right place. It is the right time. It is Mystery Monday. And because Mondays can be murder, we are going to make it a little less painful for you and get your week off to a killer start. So if you've been here with us before, you know how it works. And if you're new, welcome. Here is where we connect readers to their favorite authors and introduce you to your next favorite author. You get to ask New York Times bestselling author Tess Gerritsen anything. So let's jump right in. Robin is joining us from Facebook saying, hello, Sara and Tess from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which has been in the news quite a lot lately, getting up to starting some good trouble, as John Lewis would say. Sharon Bishop joining us from YouTube saying, hi, Sara and Tess, so nice to see you. Margaret Pinard is joining us from Portland, Oregon, saying spyrific indeed. Marcy McCreary is joining us from Hull, Massachusetts, saying she loved the Spy Coast and she is so looking forward to reading The Summer Guest. Marcy, welcome. Renee is joining us from Southeast Florida, saying hi, Sara and Tess. Robin is saying, I really want to visit that sweet little town in Maine. I want to too. I want to stroll around and see what spies I see. Robin is saying, Tess, good news. Most of your neighbors are very accurate with their aim. Renee is saying she can't wait to read The Summer Guest. She pre-ordered the book. Thank you. We will have that link for you. Margaret is saying, question, who do you think are the top 3 invisible people in our society after the elderly, which is such a good observation?
The top, you mean like categories of people?
Yeah, I think so.
Means, well, I think the elderly are number one. I think the poor are very invisible in our country. I think women have become more invisible in the country, and especially as our roles are being pulled back and we're being accused of having, achieved our roles and our degrees and gotten our jobs because we're women. We're the nice little ladies. And then children are always invisible. I mean, we don't really see them as full people, I think, until they become old enough to cause trouble. So it's, it's the helpless. It's the people who have no power. They are the most invisible.
Well said, Tess. Thank you. Thank you for that. And preach. Renee says, Tess, do you still plan on having 3 books in the series, or are you now thinking possibly more? Ooh.
Well, you know what? Don't ask me this question. I'm finishing the 3rd one now. And when I'm in the middle of a book, I'm always going, how did I do this the last time? I need a vacation. I think it's time to retire. You go through that whole litany, but I've done this. I've gone through this 30 times. So my husband says, you're never going to retire. It's just, you're in the middle of, you're in the trenches right now. So right now I have the 3rd book. It's the 1st draft is done. I am not ready to look into the 4th draft yet. Into the 4th book in the series. I have other things I need to be working on. But I can't tell you yet. I can just tell you that the 3rd book it has a title, and it's called The Shadow Friends.
Oh, The Shadow Friends. Oh, I love that. The Shadow Friends. I'm gonna write that down. So Tess, how many did you have in the Rizzoli and Isle series?
13. I had 13. And I didn't kill anybody. I didn't kill anybody vital in the books in that series. So I could still go back to it. It's just that I love my Martini Club members so much. It's hard for me to leave them.
I love them, Tess. I love Maggie Bird so much. She is just so badass and so lovable. I just want to move to Maine and be Maggie's friend and go help her gather eggs from her chickens every day and be in the Martini Club with her. And she is just so, so cool. And I hope for more than 3 books in the series. I hope we're looking at a Patricia Cornwell 36 Case Scarpettas and growing. That's what I
don't know. A lot of it depends on the television series, which is in development, because if that goes on, they're going to ask for more books.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Okay, Robin says, at least Jo is smart enough to trust the Martini Club members. So in book 1, Jo Thibodeau, which I was wrongly saying Thibodeau in my head. Jo Thibodeau is suspicious of them. She's like, listen, I'm trying to prove myself here as the new captain in charge. I'm trying to get my worth, and I don't need you guys stop interfering with my investigation. And now we see in this book her start to rely on them, start to trust them, start to respect them, use them as a tool for her, and start to see their respect for each other and how they interact more. Tell us about how you decided to grow that relationship.
Well, I love the fact that she's capable of evolution. She really is. She's the youngest police chief in her little town. She's a native Mainer. She's multi-generational Maine. She's a really good egg. And she loves her town, wants to protect it. But you know how cops are. They feel like they are the authority, and they resent anybody else coming in and telling them what to do. So in a way, her reaction to them at first is completely natural and believable. It's only she starts to the fact, or not really resent it, but she's starting to question her own abilities, because they are so quick. They come up with answers before she does. They actually go around to the security cameras around town before she gets to them, and they sweet talk their way into getting these videos. So she is wondering how they managed to do this so well. And in the first book, The Spy Club, she asks them, "Who are you people?"
Who are you people?
Who are you people? And they respond with their cover identities. One was a secretary, one sold hotel furniture, the other one was a professor. And she goes, "Well, so this is like a murder club. This is an amateur mystery club, and you're just doing this as a hobby." And they go, "Well, it's very interesting. Murder's very interesting." So only later does she realize that they are CIA, and she comes to that, through a number of revelations. And by the end, they tell her there's a lot they can't say, there's a lot they cannot reveal, but she should know that she can turn to them, that they're always willing to help.
I love that. Sharon saying she can't wait to see what the Martini Club is up to now. Victor is joining us from Facebook saying, "Hi, Tess. I just finished The Summer Guests about half an hour ago. I devoured it in a day." Okay, Victor is getting the Speedy Reader Award. And oh my goodness.
I just saw Victor.
Yay. And oh my goodness, we have award-winning author Tracy Clark in the audience. Tracy, hi, welcome. She is saying Gerritsen is the best. I can't wait to read this. Tracy is just Tracy. I'm a Tracy stan, so I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for joining us. Robin is saying more books in the series, please. Good. Here is a good question. What is a Maine spy's favorite ice cream flavor?
Well, I have a feeling they want to never rise above. They never want to get anybody's attention. They always fly under the radar. So I bet you they're going to say vanilla.
Ooh, I feel
whether they like it or not, that's what they're going to order, vanilla.
Or maybe they're going to order, maybe Maggie would order a mint chocolate chip, green, like one of the eggs from the special chickens. Last time we talked, Tess, we were talking about how different colored chickens lay different eggs. So maybe she likes the multicolored eggs. Maybe she'd get a multicolored ice cream. What do you think?
I don't know. She just doesn't want to attract attention. They're good at not attracting attention.
Fair enough. Amy Kears, welcome to the conversation, saying she can't wait to read this. Well, on that note, I am very excited to say that we have copies available from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore. That is, of course, Murder by the Book. And you can order the book tonight. And the good folks at Murder by the Book will send it to you when the book drops tomorrow. So whether you're watching with us on Facebook or YouTube, here is that link that you can pre-order tonight and get your mitts on number 2 in the Spy Co series, The Summer Guests. I know that you will devour this book as much as I did, and apparently as much as Victor did, in setting a record in only one day. Beth is joining us from YouTube saying hi from a former Kearney High School Comet. I love all of your books.
San Diego. That was my high school.
Yeah,
a Kearney. I was a Kearney Comet too. Yeah, yeah.
Yay.
So
Oh my gosh.
we are San Diego, mighty school.
Yay. Oh my gosh. Everybody's so excited to see Tracy. Renee is suggesting, what about martini ice cream? Oh, martini ice cream sounds delicious.
That
Uh,
sounds like something that I would order. Some of the fun about this series is that I had to do some whiskey research. I wanted to make sure that they would drink sufficiently good exotic whiskeys, and I should really call it the Whiskey Club because that's what they really spend a lot of time with. But that's the other thing about Jo is she's learning to appreciate whiskey because she hangs out with these people, and she never did that before.
And I like how Jo can sit down and enjoy a hearty meal. She's a girl after my own heart. I'm a good eater, Tess. I'm a good eater.
She's not afraid to eat. That's right. And the thing about these spies anyway was they were all posted to foreign countries, so their palate is broad. They have been exposed to many different recipes and cuisines and spices, and so when they get together on their they have their potluck meals. You don't know what they're going to bring for dinner.
And it's always going to be delicious. Those folks eat well. Bona is joining us from Facebook saying she loves all of your books, Tess. Yay.
Thank you, Bona.
Marcy says, my husband's uncle and aunt were CIA spies and had strange cover stories about what they did for a living. Ooh, that is a family I would like to attend.
Well, one thing about the CIA, it was always, well, even OSS, they were always very open about accepting women, understanding the value of women. The FBI was very late in hiring any women agents, but the CIA understood that sometimes the best spy is a female.
I didn't know that, Tess. That is fascinating. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Renee says, this is such a great title. Tess, was this your first title for the book? Did you get your wish?
It's a variation. I originally called it The Summer People, but my editors both thought that The Summer Guests would work a little better. I can keep about half of my titles. I really rely on editorial and my agent to come up with better ones.
Well, I love this title, although I also really love The Summer People too. Elizabeth, welcome to the conversation. Joining us from Facebook saying, hello, Sarah and Tess. Tess, what fiction are you reading now?
Right now, I just finished Sandra Brown's Blood Moon because I'm doing a signing with her tomorrow night. And, Sandra, as always, manages to, hit it out of the park. But right now it seems like I'm reading a lot of nonfiction having to do with espionage and having to do with Russians and how they have infiltrated our country because it becomes important in the next book.
Ooh, that is fascinating, Tess. That is very interesting reading. And I can't wait to see how you weave that into the Spy Coast into your next book. Robin is saying, Tess, you can take your time, take a vacation, and then keep writing on your schedule. You have earned it. That is true. Tess keeps
I think so. Well, what's really funny is that you go on vacation and you don't realize that while you're on vacation, you're refilling your creative well.
Ooh.
So things that you see or things that you experience while you think you're just having fun end up going into a book. So in a way, it is kind of work as well.
Ooh, what is an example of something that you found on a vacation that you put into a book?
Well, I was in Venice for my birthday years ago, and I had this nightmare. And the nightmare was I was playing my violin, and there was a baby sitting next to me. And I just remembered the music I was playing seemed very strange and disturbing, and the baby turned into a monster. So I woke up. I mean, that was my nightmare. And I thought, I have no idea what that meant, but there's a book in it. And I ended up walking to the old Jewish quarter in Venice and seeing the memorials to the 246 Jews who had died in the Holocaust from Venice. And that whole thing became a book called Playing with Fire, about a haunted piece of music that makes a 3-year-old girl go berserk. And the mystery of it is actually, where did this music come from? And it turns out it was composed during World War II by a Jewish violinist. So yeah, I went to Venice, celebrated my birthday, and came home with a book idea. That's the kind of thing, if you're a writer, you're just always open. Your antennae are always out saying, story, story, story. Where is the next story?
Do you actually play the violin, or was that part of the dream?
Oh no, I do. I'm a very bad violinist, but I do play. And here's the weird thing about it. So I had that nightmare about the plot, and then I was writing about halfway through the story, describing this haunted piece of music, which does not exist, did not exist. And I had another dream, and I woke up, and that melody was in my head. So I wrote it down, and it has been composed. It has been performed by a fantastic violinist. It's on YouTube. You can hear the music that came from the dream, that came from the story, that came from the dream.
Oh my
So
God.
it was all really weird, that whole thing. So if people read Playing with Fire, I think it may tell you how to find the music on YouTube.
Oh my God, that is crazy and cool. Thank you, Tess.
Yeah, so travel is amazing.
Travel's amazing. Renee is saying one of her golden retrievers came from a couple named Thibodeau. So,
Yeah.
so there are Thibodeaus out in the world. Okay, exactly. I want to see a martini name for future dogs there, Renee. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, let me see. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so many questions. Okay, we want to hear more about the whiskey research.
Oh. Well, it helped that I have a friend who's kind of a semi-alcoholic who said you got to sign up for the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, and so I did. And you can order like these very small batch whiskeys from Scotland, and I don't know how many bottles I went through, but he and I would go, he'd come over and we'd drink together. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And my husband, who does not drink, would sit there and watch us. But I think that after a while you begin to develop a taste for certain things. I mean, I do like 30 years. I think 30, the longer they are, maybe they have to be at least 16 years before they really come into their own. But I really do like Scotch from Scotland.
I love to know that you researched the whiskeys, because I did notice that they're very careful about their whiskeys, but I didn't know you were on the ground doing the research test. I feel reassured even more so in your pages. And
well, yes, Maggie Bird likes a particular whiskey it's called Longmorn. And I have an empty bottle sitting on my desk, and I write with that empty bottle there just to remind me what Maggie Bird drinks.
Oh, Tess, I love that. You are being so true to the character. You're channeling her down to the whiskey that she drinks. Oh, I love that. Anne is joining us from Facebook saying, hello from Wisconsin. I can't wait to read the new novel. I miss Tess Gerritsen books and always recommend you as an author to anyone who loves mystery thrillers and medical mysteries. Right, Anne? Tess is the gold standard for just polished, fabulous police procedurals, medical mysteries and thrillers. Absolutely. Margaret saying, what about the summer hordes? LOL. Exactly. That too.
Well, yeah, anybody who lives in a tourist area, we all understand. We appreciate the money they bring into our towns, but we're very happy when the fall rolls around and they all go home.
Exactly. Thanks for coming, and now get out. Are you in Phoenix now? Robin would like to know.
I am in Phoenix now. I have a signing tomorrow night at the Poison Pen.
Yay! Another fabulous, fabulous woman-owned, independent, mystery dedicated bookstore under the leadership of the legendary Barbara Peters.
Absolutely.
Margaret saying, wow, what a backstory. Exactly. Nancy's joining us from Facebook saying, hi, Tess.
Hi,
Nancy. Yay. Margaret Penner says she's going to look up Playing with Fire right now. I know. And then we're going to all go Google that violin song. That is just such a cool story. Randy's joining us from YouTube saying AA is for quitters. Robin is letting us know that there is also a whiskey magazine. I did not know that. Marcia's saying she likes Teeling whiskey. Okay, I'm learning a lot here. Non-drinkers can help with the smell tests Robin offers. Yeah, exactly. Yes. And yeah, because you described the whiskey so well in your book, Tess. Yeah, and Tess also earned a fabulous review from Booklist. I'm going to pop it up here so we can all read it. They deemed the book fun and fascinating to watch Maggie and her friends pivot from drinking martinis at their monthly book club to full-on use of their survival and investigative series. I couldn't agree more. This is just so much fun. And again, we have copies available from our partner in crime, Murder by the Book. So whether you're watching with us on Facebook or YouTube, you can order right here. I'm going to put the link up again. And again, the book is not even out yet. The book drops tomorrow. Tess is coming on as a special favor to give us the inside scoop the night before the book comes out. So here is that link to order, support woman-owned bookstores, support small businesses, and get your mitts on the delicious Summer Guest, which addresses a decades-old cold case, a long-standing, very dark past on this small town on a lake in Maine, and a missing 14-year-old girl in present time.
And if you get the print copy, you get a special treat. It includes a short story that Lee Child and I wrote, in which Jack Reacher meets Maggie Bird.
Ooh, that is fun. Oh my gosh, Jack Reacher and Maggie Bird together. What a fun. How did you come up with that idea, Tess?
Well, it was our English editor who said, hey, wouldn't it be fun if these two met up in Maine? And so Lee and I just batted around ideas, and I wrote the Maggie chapters. He wrote the Reacher chapters, and hey, they make a really good team, by the way.
I love this. So I had read an advanced reader copy 3 months ago, actually almost 4 months ago in December, and it didn't have that. So now my hard copy just arrived yesterday. And so I am going to go immediately delve into that. Oh my God, that's so fabulous and so fun. Renee saying, happy early pub day, Tess. Randy's joining us from YouTube saying Frank Sinatra's Jack Daniels whiskey is the best whiskey you'll ever taste. Okay.
I wasn't aware Frank Sinatra had a special label.
Who knew? Robin says, this is such a great cover, Tess. Did you get any input into the design?
I got to say yes or no to the cover. But honestly, the whole cover was designed by Thomas and Mercer. And I saw several iterations of it, but it also echoes the Spy Coast as well, which has a similar kind of a background of place.
Renee wants to know, is the short story in the paperback copy? It's not available in paperback yet. It's in hardcover, right?
Well, it actually is, Thomas and Mercer does an interesting thing where they release both at the same time. So yes, the short story is in both print editions.
Okay, perfect. So the link that I posted before is available both as hardcover and paperback. Thank you for that clarification, Tess. And Robin is saying, thank you so much for the extra story. Yes, thank you for that extra story. What a treat that is.
And thank Lee Child for writing half of it.
Oh my gosh, Lee Child has been on 4 times, and that guy is a rollicking good time. That is, I cannot wait to go open my hard copy and read that. Y'all, we are out of time. Time flies when you're having this much fun. So here again is the link for both hardcover or paperback, and that both versions include that short story, which we've just learned from Tess is with her and Lee Child, featuring Maggie Bird and Jack Reacher. What a fun and fabulous matchup. So whether you're watching with us on Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and click that link, get your mitts on the Summer Guest, and the good folks at Murder by the Book will send it out to you first thing tomorrow morning. New York Times bestselling author Tess Gerritsen, thank you so much for coming on to give us the inside scoop on the Summer Guest. What a pleasure and a joy to hear from you and to get all our questions answered. Oh my goodness, we have Megan Minchev in the audience. She is bone-chilling books, and she has an incredible eye for mysteries and dishes it all to her 100,000 followers on Instagram. She is my favorite bookstagrammer, favorite book influencer out there. She says, I love Tess. I met her in Dubai in November at the Sharjah Book Festival. Yeah. Thank you for having her on. I cannot wait to read The Summer Guest. And Megan is your fellow Mainer, Tess. She's a native Mainer.
Yeah, well, Megan, it's great to see you again. We had a wild time in Dubai, but we won't talk about that.
Ooh, a wild time in Dubai. I'm just bummed that I was not there. Oh my gosh. Everyone is loving this. Francine is joining us on YouTube saying, thank you, Tess. Marcy saying, thank you. I love this. Look forward to hearing Tess speak at the Hamptons, who done it in April. Big hugs, Sarah. Big hugs to you too, Robin. Y'all, that is a wrap for us. I hope the days and the pages fly by, and I will see you next Monday for Mystery Monday. Have a very good week. And yay, Vegas, it was so fun. And I will see you then.